All right, YouTube, it's Brian Phillips here. We've got the Fiido D11 here, and I've been researching a lot, as much as I could, about this bicycle, this e-bike. So far, really happy with it. We've been using it for a while now, and things seem to be holding up okay. We haven't had the seat popping on us like we originally did, so our tightening worked. And we've had pretty good luck. One thing we've noticed is that the kickstand likes to kind of spin in a little bit on you. And what will happen is it will get close to that brake disc. So you have to be a little bit mindful of that. Just make sure it's not rubbing the disc while you're driving. And when you get back and stop it, what happens is, I think what's happening on mine is that I'll occasionally push off with this still down, and it kind of lifts at a funny angle and it twists. So just keep a close eye on that. And then a quick update for you on hacking the speed on this bike. Obviously, that was the first thing I tried to do because, you know, that's what everybody does. So I'm going to show you how to get in the menu. I'm going to show you how to make adjustments, but I'm going to let you know right now, just out of the gate, it's not going to change the speed. Now, that being said, if you have some problem with your unit, then that's a different experience. These 250 watt motors only have so much power, so they can only push you so fast, and they're not going through the gear ratio. It's just a direct drive. So it doesn't matter what gear you're in here, it's just driving. So it doesn't matter what gear you're in, right? You can pedal as hard as you want. That thing's only going to run as fast as it runs. So without further ado, there's two different things you can do. You'll notice it's on. I'm going to turn this off, and I have a screen here to prove it to you. This is my wife's cell phone, and we have it set up with the speedometer in kilometers per hour so that you have the same unit of measurement. So this is one of the tests. You hold a brake, you hold the throttle, and you press the power button while holding all three. And then it comes up with an error 4. That's supposed to be a speed error, okay, or a setting error. I haven't found that to make any impact at all. Now, I would love it if some of you would put in the comments below what I did wrong there, but I don't believe I did. I just think that the hack was figured out on the D4 and the D1, and so the D11, they had fixed it. So anyway, coming back to the point, so we're in that mode. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be in that mode to do this next step, so I'm going to just turn it off just to prove it. We're going to press and hold both buttons. While pressing them, we're going to watch it fire up, then we're going to let go. So I didn't get in that time. Sometimes you have to kind of try it. There you go. So now it's P1, P2, P3, P1. This is 36 volts or 48 volts. In our case, we're 36 volts, so we don't care. P2 is supposed to be 200. This is the setting that I have used to calibrate my speedometer, not to speed up the bike. The bike goes what the bike will go, okay? So if you want to change that, you click into this value, and then as you press the power button, it increments the numbers. So I'm going to go to like 195, and then I'm going to press and hold for a few seconds to commit that to memory. Now it's 195. Now I'm going to click P. This would be 25. That's where everybody thinks if I change 25 kilos, or not kilos, kilometers an hour, it's going to be 50 kilometers per hour. That's not the case. I'm not 100% sure that this does anything in our arena of speed, but I believe it might. So that being said, when I pedal, it still goes exactly the same as the day we did the original testing, just so you guys are aware. But we'll go ahead and set that to 50 just to help you have the understanding that that's not it, okay? You can try it yourself. All you have to do is click and then change the value. It starts at 12. Let's say we set it to 15, then it would peter out at 15, right? That's the understanding I have, right? But who wants that? It was already 25 before. Now keep in mind, 25 kilometers an hour is quite a bit slower than 50. 50 kilometers per hour would be scary on this rig, okay? And for the record, I can't pedal it fast enough to go that speed. So there's 250 watt motor. I mean, I produce a lot more wattage than 250 watts as a human. So just to be clear. All right, so P3. And then when you get done with your last setting, you can just press and hold power, and that will exit the menu structure and then reboot, okay? So we've got it come up here with 1, 2, 3. We'll just test in 3. Of course, the horn's working, the light's working as usual. Nothing's changed, as you can see. We could even power cycle it and show you that the settings are saved. So when we're done going around once, I'll probably just run up and down, and then I'll come back and report it, and then I'll bring you along for a ride. So that's what we're going to. So I'm going 21, 22, 23, 23, 23, just the same as before. So now if I pedal, I can go faster, but it's only under my human strength. So I'm assuming I'm back in range now. So if I'm at full bore output, I only experienced, in real speed, I only experienced about 22 or 23 kilometers per hour, okay? So in doing my change, let's look again. If I walk back into parameter number 2, whoops, that 190 was a perfect match for kilometers per hour, okay? So I guess since it's not speeding me up, and yes, I did try all the different values. I went down, I went up, I went everywhere, okay? What's gonna do is it's gonna change the perception of speed here. But evidently the speed is being calculated somewhere else, i.e. down there, okay? So just to prove it to you, I'm gonna go up to 240. Just commit that to memory. Normally default's 200, just so you know. And then I can just go ahead and do a short test, and I'll just call out the readings. You'll just have to trust me because it's so much easier that way. Okay, so I got to exit the menu. To exit the menu, just press and hold power. Then it powers back up. Okay, so we're at speed level 3. Doesn't even matter what speed level you're at. I'm at 3, and we'll just go ahead and take it right out of the gate like that. And now I have a huge disparity. I have 18, 19, 21 kilometers when I'm only going 17. So anybody that knows how to do math is going to recognize that all we're doing is changing a disparity in the values. So if you look at the screen, I'll try to take you around with me, but this might be a little bit challenging. Okay, so I'm going to get pushed off here. Okay, so just look at the disparity. We got 12 over here, 13 over here, and 10 over there. Now these are kilometers an hour, and I am using pedal assistance. So it's definitely working, but the thing is, look at that. All you're doing is you're just changing what the reading is on this screen. You're not actually changing its ability to go faster. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change this back and at least show you. Okay, so we're back in parameter 1. Gonna go to parameter 2. Then we're gonna walk into that and we're gonna change that. And yes, I've tried all sorts of different values. I went all the way up to the top, I went all the way to the bottom. And yes, it does take forever to actually cycle through all the numbers. If you really wanna test my theory, then just go to the lowest value that it will do. Okay, so let's go to like 10. Now let's commit that to memory. And now what's gonna happen is it perceives itself as going 0 miles an hour all the time, okay? See this? So now press and hold power to exit. You don't need to hold both to exit. Okay, so now we'll do the same test we did before. It's always challenging to do this because I'm right-handed. Okay, so here we go. So look at that, guys. Just take my word for it. I'm not gonna go a mile down the road to prove this to you. Because you only have to see the fact that this says 0 and that says whatever. So the idea is the lower values are equivalent to the actual speed sensor, right? The decision's not being made here. It's just displaying it here, I believe. Okay, so I'm gonna walk back into the menu structure. I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to P2 again. Now I'm gonna change this value so that I get an accurate representation of the speed, because if I can't speed it up, I might as well at least have accuracy. And the way I'm gonna do that is very simple. I'm just gonna walk up here. Now I could do an equivalence to miles per hour, because miles per hour is gonna be about half of the kilometers per hour. And I could do the math and come up with a factor of 200 to whatever, okay? So that'd be one thing we could do. And then you can calibrate what the output is, but it's still gonna say kilometers per hour there. Now, somebody had suggested 130. I tried 130, it didn't do anything. I tried 150, it didn't do anything. The only thing it did is it made a bigger error between the reality of the situation and what was being displayed. Now, the first time you see it, you're gonna think, wow, I'm going faster. So therefore your brain is gonna say you're going faster, but you're not. So I found that 190 was correct for mine. Now I'm going to commit that to memory. Okay. And then I'm just going to walk out. Reboot. And by the way, on one, I have no problem. I'm just going to check this again, and then I'll pick you guys up and take you for a ride. So now I have almost exactly the same number. I have 13 and 13. Well, there's a little bit of latency on the GPS. So I think going in circles doesn't really help me at all. But I have a similarity here. So I'm going to try this again, and we'll try to give you guys a shot so you can see both. Okay, so you have 0 and 0. Okay, so in speed 1, as you can see, we've got a pretty close equivalency. It's not exact, but it's close. Okay, now I'm gonna hold you down here so I can make my turn. Okay, and then we'll make our turn here. Then I can show you a slightly upgrade here. You can see we're at 18 and 18. So really all we've done is we've calibrated our output. And since we're going at a grade, just a very, very light grade, like I'm simulating it here with the camera, so you can tell we're going uphill just a little bit, then it's gonna slow down because this 250 watt motor is just not strong enough to carry a dude that is 10% bigger than it was designed for. So now I'm gonna put you back down with me so I can turn. Using the throttle is so nice on this for turning like that in a sharp way, especially when you're bouncing. Okay, so now we're going downhill at a grade about like this, okay? It's not insane, but it's a little bit of grade. And look at that, wow, right at the speed that was quoted by the manufacturer. So strange, guys. Now, I'm not pedaling, look, I'm holding still. Yes, I'm wearing flip-flops. That's what you get on YouTube. Cost of admission is too low. So as you can see, we're just cruising along. Now I'm gonna speed up by pedaling, and I have to hold the handlebars to do that. But just so you guys can see, I am going a lot faster. I can go 40 kilometers an hour. That's still pretty stinking fast on this bike. It's not a big bike, okay? So we're gonna turn around here. You may have noticed we don't have much traffic on this road. We don't. So as you can see, they don't pull any punches. Fiido has delivered pretty much what you expected. I wish they would have given us a couple of kilometers an hour, to be honest. But like right now, we're going, 1% grade. Plus I'm over the weight capacity. So put you guys down here for a minute. I mean, it's still super fun, don't get me wrong. I love riding on this bike. And it is really, honestly, super, super fun. But now that we've established what you can and can't do with it, now instead of trying to hack the thing, we can just get busy enjoying it. And the truth is, even at 40 kilometers an hour, I feel like this bike is probably a pretty good fit. It's gonna give us a balance of fun, enjoyment, reasonable comfort, and also some exercise, you know, because we can use it. But that being said, I'm not gonna be going 50 miles an hour on this thing. It's just not ever gonna happen, not unless I put a rocket booster on it, which is a great idea now that I think of it. So if you guys want something faster, my understanding is that some of the other Fiidos can be hacked to go faster. But if you want to go faster, you're going to need more wattage, I think. I think the log jam in this equation is probably the motor, because the motor's small. But that's also how you get this bike to weigh just a smidge over 40 pounds. So with that, if you haven't already bought one, you've been thinking about it, you're on the fence, I'm going to tell you right now, if you buy this bike, knowing what you know now, I think you're going to be very happy with it. And yes, you can compare it against other Chinese branded bicycles, and you can compare it against other bikes that you can find. You may be able to find slightly cheaper, but I don't think you're going to get all the same specs. And I don't think you're going to get them all in the same package. You can definitely get the 250 watt watt motor. You can definitely get the folding frame. You can definitely get the seat with the battery. You can definitely get the 11.6 amp hours. You can definitely get a good charger. You can definitely get a nice display. You can definitely get decent handles, decent brakes. Integral light, maybe not. Horn, I don't know. It's not really that big of a deal. But all of it in one package deal that looks really pretty dang good for being an electric bike. I think it's a good fit. So that being said, if you haven't already bought one, you're thinking about it, you're on the fence, jump off the fence, go to the video description below, buy one for yourself, buy one for your wife, and then get yourself one of those 4-inch fat wheel off-road 1,000-watt units. And you can say, now we can go on a bike ride together. Because you know she's not going to go down in the ditch like you are. So, well, maybe she will, and you'll stay on the road. I'm not sure. Role reversals do happen. But in this family, I'm going to be going down the ditch doing crazy stuff, and she's going to be like, okay, can we move on now? So at least she'll have a motor to keep her going, and then I will do all the crazy things. And plus, one of us will be able to call 911. Yeah, it's the roadside assistance number, isn't it?
Yeah.
So guys, I really do like this bike. It's cool. It's super fun. My expectations were kind of, I didn't have any. I mean, the expectations I had were very limited because the limited exposure we have to actually riding them. But this is what I can tell you. I did ride a $1,700 option, and I did ride a $3,000 option, and a few in that range. And I feel like this is pretty much every bit as good as the $1,700 option. The $3,000 option had bigger wheels, and it was a bigger frame, so it fit my body better. So it was significantly better experience in that it was more powerful and it was heavier. I think that was a 350 watt motor, and it had a Bosch power plant on it. So it was a very good bike. It was very nice. But the thing is, that thing weighed 65 pounds.
It was very expensive.
And it was $3 grand. So that being said, I think, you know, I'd rather have 3 of those than one of them, in my experience. I could have bought my wife and I one of these each and walked away with $1,000 in the bank. That's kind of incredible. That's a lot of Happy Meals for me. You guys will have to get something at home. I told you we need workout. So get one if you want. If you don't want to buy this, and you know what, you're like, I'll get the workout equipment next time. I just want an airplane. Also look in the video description below. You'll be able to find just a few choices. But for now, thanks for watching here on Brian Phillips RC. Yes, Brian Phillips RC, reviewing electric bikes. It's almost remote controlled. Stay tuned. Come back for more.